All right, so for today's video, I'm going to talk about this red flag that I've seen. This is like an intuitive download that I've been getting recently, which is that a lot of the people that you see in like not only in the New Age community, but even in the Soul Trap community, or like the people who talk about the Soul Trap, the people who talk about the reincarnation trap. One of the red flags that I think people need to look out for when just looking at anyone is the lack of heart energy whenever you see them, or I like to call this the robot energy, and sometimes it manifests as a robot energy, like a robotic fluoride stare, like the right. So sometimes it manifests like that, where there's like you think about like look at my like facial expression right now, like as I'm talking versus the like the Darius J. Wright, the there are multiple realms, and uh yeah, there are multiple realms, and when you go out of body, and it's like the robot energy, right? But then you have like the Forever Consciousness Research Channel energy, which is the Eeyore energy, which is the we're in a soul trap, and okay, so those are two energies that you need to look out for whenever you look at someone, and what this does, or what those energies are essentially, like the robot energy and the Eeyore energy, like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, right? Those energies are fundamentally like it's like a lack of heart energy. It's a lack of like the whole like the lion sleeps no more energy, right? There's no fire in the belly when these people talk, right? So to give examples of like people with robot energy, from what I see, I think Darius J. Wright is a pretty obvious one. He reminds me of a CIA agent called I think Andrew Bustamante or something. Like they look very similar to each other, but he also has that like Darius J. Wright. He has that fluoridated sort of, there are multiple realms, and there's 12 realms in this construct, and yeah, the outer it's like the way he talks and the way he like his facial expression, like there's no emotion, there's no changes, there's no like oomph energy from coming from him, right? And this is one of the things that you see with also with like Sadhguru and like Osho and then, like a lot of these other new age gurus. One of the things that is interesting is there's no heart energy, there's no oomph behind what they do, and what it is, I think it's partially what they're doing is they're masking in order to so that it's hard for you to get like a read on like what their energy is. And I think like that is something to look out for, is to look out for any robot energy. I think Howdy Mikowski is another good example of this, because and this is something that like personally, gut feeling, my subconscious, right, it sort of pisses me off whenever I see people with it who like they talk in a very like in a very like conceited way, or like they talk in a way where it's like they have like a nihilism about them. Like, it's almost like they don't really, it's almost like the way Howdy Mikowski talks, the way that Darius J. Wright talks, the way that like Sadhguru talks, like a lot of it's like they talk like their tone of voice, it's almost nihilistic, and it's almost like they don't actually care. They're just sort of like like yet again like robotic Eeyore energy, right? And so that is definitely something to look out for. Is to look out for any person that's talking that has like a lack of heart energy, that has a lack of oomph behind and I keep talking about Green Lantern recently, but I think it's really like the willpower, the oomph, like the solar plexus, like the good versus evil, like standing for good, right? Like all of that stuff, right? Seem to be something that is blocked off whatever these new age gurus and some of the people like who talk about the soul trap. I mean, even like Isabella Green, who I'm very suspicious about her, because she talks about she's a little too new agey. First of all, she's a little too new agey, and then also she talks about Kundalini, which is a serpent energy, that's a reptilian energy, which is, I don't trust that. But and then you also get into like Isabella Green and like Forever Consciousness Research Channel. He has like members, and he has like tier lists, and he has like 10-hour live streams and all this other stuff. So and then you also have like Isabella Green charging like for like what, if there's anyone who charges for like one-on-one consultations, and like they charge insane amounts of money, and they have like many hours of like live streams and stuff. It's almost like stuff that is it's like unnecessary fluff, and also it's almost like, are they trying to get the truth out, or are they trying to sell a book, right? And I understand like, oh, okay, you have to make money. Like I have nothing against people who like they have a Patreon or something like that, so, which is like people can donate if they want to or something like that. But there is a difference between you're trying to get the truth out, you're trying to express yourself, versus you're trying to sell something. in a certain package, right? And so I definitely going back to the main topic. I think that like whenever you look at certain, and this is one of the reasons why I have I don't want to say I'm a fan because like I don't like being fans of people, right? Because everyone has imperfections, right? But like people like David Icke, people like Tony Sayers, people like oh my god, I don't know. Like those are the only two people that I can think of on the top of my head, from the top of my head, that actually have like that heart energy. Whenever they talk about stuff, there's like an actual oomph to it. Like it's almost like there's a humanness in the way that they talk and the way that they discuss things that I can pick up on. That's different than yet again like the Darius J. Wright, Howdy Mikowski, like the monotone sort of tone of voice where there's no like they're like this. Yeah, and yet again, it's like the way that they talk. It's almost like there's no oomph behind it. There's no heart energy. There's no solar plexus like fire in the belly. Whenever they talk, and so I definitely think that it's a very subtle thing that but if you pick up on it, like once you see it, you can't really unsee it. Like you know it when you see it. If you look for it, like you need to look for whenever anyone who talks about this kind of stuff, or whenever they have like a lack of heart energy, whenever they have like either the robot energy, which is like yet again like the monotone fluoride stare and glow in the dark CIA agent sort of. There are 12 realms in this construct, and my spirit guide showed me this construct in this realm, and that's like how Darius J. Wright talks, and it kind of pisses me off whenever anyone talks like that. And, like whenever people have that, they have like that conceited know-it-all attitude, and on top of that sort of conceited know-it-all attitude, like there's no emotion behind what they talk about, and that is a very big red flag. Is if your energy doesn't have any emotions behind it. If you like, think about like Sadhguru, one of the things that he does is he talks very slow, and he moves his hand, and like another thing that he does that I've noticed is that Sadhguru, he hisses like at the end of his sentences like a snake, which is very untrustworthy. I mean, on top of that, like Sadhguru murdered his wife, and he also pushed for the vaccines, right? So I mean, but yeah, like with whenever it comes to people who are deceptive, it's hard to get a read on their energy. It's like they're trying to cover up their energy by being monotone, by being robotic, by being matter of fact, by trying to be like like having like they have like the sort of zen snobbiness about them, like that whole like Dr. Manhattan, like nothing matters and it's all it's like they have a very detached sort of attitude, like the way they talk about metaphysical concepts, like they talk down to you instead of to you as an equal sovereign being, right? It's all of that combined together, but mainly it's the robot energy, it's the Eeyore energy. It's either like the depressive energy, of like oh everything's so there's no empowerment behind what they're saying, which is like that's like one flavor of it. But the main flavor of it that I've noticed is the robot energy, where there's like zero emotion in the way that they talk about things. If there's zero emotion behind the way people talk about things, especially when it comes to the soul trap, especially when it comes to like this spiritual stuff. I think it's a big red flag that you should be skeptical of anything that they say, right? And yet again, like, I mean, here's the thing about like Howdy Mikowski. Like I haven't watched a lot of videos about him necessarily, so he does. I mean, him and like Forever Consciousness Research and Isabel, they all get brownie points for mentioning the soul trap, which is a lot of people they'll just flat out ignore it, or they'll say like, oh, that's just fear mongering. It's all love and light, really. But so at least they get brownie points for mentioning the soul trap. But then again, that lack of emotion, that sort of like the monotone way that they talk about things. It's not even the stuff that they're explicitly saying; it's the energy with which they're saying it that is what I'm talking about here. It sounds irrational. It sounds like I'm waffling about nothing, but it's the energy behind what they're saying, behind the stuff that they're talking about. That is a huge red flag that people need to watch out for. Is watch out for that robot energy. Watch out for anyone who try. It's almost like they're trying to hide their energy, or they have like a lack of emotion where it's like they're almost like being AI run or something like that. It's the same energy that people feel off of like the gray entities where it's like zero emotion. It's very computer like, right? And so if you feel that off of people whenever they talk, if you ever feel that robot energy whenever someone talks, like the fluoride stare CIA agent, gray alien AI run, a sort of monotone, like no facial expressions whatsoever. If you pick up that thing, that sort of energy off of someone, then you should probably be skeptical of what they have to say, because if there's no heart energy, then if it's not coming from the heart, then it's coming from another source, which is, it might come from intellect, it might come from, these people might be, just agents of the matrix, spreading false information. Or like another thing that like Darius J. Wright talks about, he talks about how, oh, you decided to be here because the simulation is unique, and you decided to, like a lot of like the Dolores Cannon, sort of stuff that is like gaslighting us into thinking that, oh, you chose to be here because it's a wonderful experience. Yeah, like, yeah, your kid dying of leukemia at 10 years old. Yeah, what a wonderful experience. Yeah, fuck that guy. But but yeah, like yet again, like that fluoridated robot energy is something to really watch out for, and it's something that I pick up yet again. Like you can say, like, oh, but what did they say that was wrong necessarily? And a lot of it is not necessarily what they say explicitly. Yet again, because I mean, a lot of these new agers and a lot of like the people in the sort of soul trap circle talking about this stuff, a lot of them, they'll talk like 99% truth and 1% lie, or it'll be like 1% their experience, which might not be necessarily true. I mean, it's their experience. You have to go based off of your experience, of course, but a lot of times it's not explicitly what they're saying. It's like the energy with which they're saying it that you have to pick up on, that you have to be aware of, because yeah, and this is the thing that people don't understand, is people want to look at the explicit information while not looking at like the body language, the speech, like the speech patterns, like the tone of voice, right? And yet again, like all of that combined together, your subconscious can sort of pick up the vibes and the energy of the person, and if the vibes feel robotic, and if the vibes feel very like monotone, like very like there's no oomph behind it, it's like it's like the cowardly lion from like the Wizard of Oz, sort of energy, or if it's like a neutered energy that like yeah, Howdy Mikowski, Forever Consciousness Research, like I think Darius J. Wright is more of the robot flavor, instead of the Eeyore energy, but like the point is like what I'm saying is that you have to look out for people that don't have the heart energy behind what they're saying, and if there's a lack of that energy, then you need to be very careful of what that person has to say, because if it's not coming from the heart, then it's probably a deception, right? But yeah, that's the video.